I've always had trouble with my neck. And I can remember when I was learning to drive a car, it was the first time I guess I may have really noticed it. But when I would turn back to look to see if a car was coming in my blind spot, it would hurt, or I'd have to twist my whole shoulders to turn that way. So I noticed that, and that was, high school time. And I also had a car wreck where I was hit from the side, and it was almost slow motion, so it wasn't a real severe wreck. But I just remember those things, and doing head nips in high school cheerleading that would always kind of hurt my neck. But so then after I got married, and for years I went to chiropractors, regular different ones that would crank my neck or turn me sideways and jolt me. And although I thought they might help, I never really got any relief, nor did I. Sometimes it would just really hurt, or sometimes they'd say relax, and then they'd hit, and then it would really hurt for maybe even another day or so. But I still would try once in a while because somebody said, oh, here's a good one. But I decided then later on to just stop doing it for a while. And one of my sons had some relief and some help with his hips from what's called an upper cervical doctor. And so where they adjust the atlas. And although he gave me some information, I read about it, it was talking about how it wouldn't be, like people would leave and say, well, they probably aren't, it isn't going to help anything, because all they would do would just touch you on your neck. So I went to the doctor thinking that I didn't have anything to lose, and it had helped my son. So I went, and the first time he adjusted with his fingers on my neck, just hardly lightly at all. And he had me sit in a chair and relax, and I can remember thinking, this isn't going to work for me. This isn't going to be any good. And I was laying there as I relaxed in the chair. I heard this noise, because he asked me if I heard anything when he was touching it, and I didn't hear anything. At least I didn't think I did, but now to find out later, there is some little noise sometimes you hear in there, and I thought it was his fingers at the time. But I heard this pop, and I thought anybody in the room would have heard it, and nobody looked around. And all I know is then as I walked and did things, I felt a release in my neck. And what I found on the way home driving, that even already just from the doctor's office, when I turned, even though my mind had the memory of pain, and when I'd get to there it would want to stop, I turned all the way around, was able to see without moving my shoulders. And I found that as the month progressed and I would get adjusted a few more times, that it got better and better, to the point now where I can turn as far this way as I can this way. And like I say, at the point before, if I turned to here, I already got that feeling it was going to hurt, and then it'd get to the point where I couldn't turn any farther and have to turn my whole body. So now I can turn both ways without any problems at all. Then I continued to get adjusted, and he adjusted me, and he goes, home run. And when I got up and I walked, because he has you walk because he measures and sees the difference in what weight you're carrying on each hip. And when I got off, he said, home run. And when I walked, I said, I feel like my shoulders are dropped, I could feel the dropping of them. When I got home, my other son said, hey, your neck looks longer. And he didn't even know that I had felt that relief. But I have to say, too, that all those years, I always had this big lump on the back of my neck, and I'd go to myofascial massages and different things to try to loosen that up, and it wouldn't. And people would massage my shoulders, and they would say, just relax, and I was relaxed as I could. But I see now that it was like I probably was about like this, and now I'm like this. So even for that first couple weeks, I can remember how it felt so strange to have my shoulders dropped in that way, because I was so used to for most of my life being higher up. But anyway, that has stayed also, and it's still working to loosen everything up all the way down my spine, because I had a twist in my hip also. And I can remember the time that I got off of the machine that measured my weight, and I was walking off, and I said, my hip feels higher. And he said, no, it isn't higher, it's just untwisted. And that was another thing, because I'd always been told I had one leg longer than the other and those kind of things. But So it's a process and happening, but everything has just been more and more relaxed. My body's more relaxed. I can't tell you how many times that I will just stand there and just feel my shoulders drop, just for the feeling of knowing that I can, or turning my head to the left in the car, knowing that I can. So I've been very thankful for the relief that I've gotten, and I know that it helps a lot of other different things in your body, neurologically or mechanically. But I really like the idea of seeing that our head is like a bowling ball, and it sits on there and it squashes up, and as you get unkinked, and the more you can move then, and your backbone being able to relax, so I expect more and more things to be able to be released in my body. I'd like to say I had tried other chiropractors and other kind of ways to adjust my neck, and if you've tried all those other ways and you've been hurt and you know that they don't work, this is totally different. This is not like any other adjustment or any kind of doctor you've been to, and it totally makes sense, common sense of how your backbone and atlas work. Like I said, it's worth a try because there are so many things like blood pressure, TMJ, headaches, migraines. All those things make so much sense. I can see now why the atlas is such an important part of your backbone.